Can you just drive for a second?
So I don't know why. And it's supposed to go into it's already be set up. Oh. Maybe that was the issue.
Susan, can you hear us? Can you talk again?
Hello, Susan? Nope. Does Susan have video or is it just audio?
She's got video.
She has video. We can show it, but if we don't have audio, it's
How about
okay.
now?
Can you
Hello?
keep talking? Hello?
Yes, Susan? Hello? No? We can't hear her either, eh?
No. Well, I'm not through any sort of speaker system. Or influence, just in case.
Maybe that.
Bring that to Ashley and Shipping.
Don't worry.
Nope.
We will we'll be talking to Susan soon.
So this means you have extra time to get in questions for Susan.
Yes, put your questions in the blog post about her on the homepage of desertbus.org.
We'll get this stuff sorted.
Are you able to call Jen?
You should get it to work.
Okay.
That's not work. John left.
Oh!
No, that was not right.
Did you hear something?
I thought I
No,
heard something,
that
but it was
wasn't.
other stuff. We are working on the tech.
Check to see if the music.
Do you have Skype capability on that computer?
On this computer?
Yeah.
I do not know.
Could we do the old-fashioned thing of holding a phone to the
Sure. we can do
microphone?
that. Susan, we might call you. Do we have her number?
Not on me.
I'll ask James. James has it. I'll get him now. James?
Alright,
James?
we may have to keep this old school. At least we can hold it up to that microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to be like in the middle of the room. Or even to one of the performance mic.
Ooh, that might be like...
Who knows?
We'll do this old school if we have to.
We will talk to Susan.
About that.
By hook or by crook.
I put on the settings I was told to, and I can't get sound from there for some reason.
I've still got Dumb Ways to Die stuck in my head.
Yeah, that is a great song.
Which is good because I had Barbie Girl from Steve and Ash and Skeletor last night stuck in my head when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, so the settings are where they are right
You
now.
don't have to
Nice.
close this to save it or anything?
A lot of people have been asking me about all my favorite bands because I like talking about
If
music.
that works, and if not,
Yep.
let's just switch to icon. It's fine.
The new Muse album's pretty good. If you leave out a couple songs, it's a really solid EP.
We can hear her
Sweet.
group.
I have no idea how many $6 secrets we have. I'm assuming other people have been asking for me. I haven't asked anybody yet this morning.
I imagine there are many.
There are quite a few.
We will make sure
we
to-
got one from Dengler before we left, right?
I don't know.
I told Graham to make sure that that happened because I had to leave early last night.
I'm sure the chat would have reminded him.
Yes.
I will definitely get one from Susan.
You have the other ones.
Yes, but she should still be able to hear me. Where did you put the other ones?
She says, yeah.
Okay.
Just Siri.
Is this the $6 secret book?
Yeah, that is the $6 secret book.
Did you put a $6 secret in, Paul?
I have not yet.
Well, we can do ours at the end, right?
Is each person on a different page?
Yes. It's easier to keep track of that way. We have quite a few, it looks like. We can still get more.
Okay, did that work?
Nope, she's clapping. Nothing.
Waving.
Hi.
Technical difficulties, please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. Technical
We have
difficulties,
18.
please stand by. Do 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 do.
And we indeed have one from Stephen Dengler.
Yay! Technical difficulties, please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Do 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 do.
I tell you what's not having technical difficulties. Bus cam, still going strong.
That's right. After all these years.
Yeah. Bus cam, actually, the setup, everything for the high Dengler vision has changed, and we've got all sorts of sophisticated setups. The bus cam has basically not changed since the first year. It is just a laptop with
Technical
the thing plugged
difficulties,
in.
please stand by.
And
Please stand
Kathleen
by.
is doing the technical difficulties dance.
It's a new dance.
Hey.
Hey.
Ideally, we want to discourage people from hoping for technical difficulties. Maybe we shouldn't be giving them a good dance.
This is not a good dance. Hey, good morning, Steve.
Yay.
I'm bearing donuts. Hey,
Oh,
didn't see you
Steve.
last night.
Yeah.
I'm wet, but I want a hug.
Wow, you are very wet.
Yes, I
I've got like a
It's-
Steve
it's
impression
gross
of that
outside.
person.
It's disgusting.
Awesome.
I'm gonna put these upstairs.
Thank you so much, Steve. So generous. He bought us pizza last night too. Technical difficulties,
delicious
please
pizza.
stand by. Please stand
Stand
by.
by.
Please stand by.
Alright,
How's
how
the-
do we want to do this? Am I just doing this old school?
Old,
Holding it up?
yeah.
Well,
Old
we
school.
can do it on the performance mic, eh?
Oh, we could see how that goes. There's a lot of buzzing through the performance mics.
Or maybe at least hold it up to the cam. Cam, so you don't have to hold it straight up.
But I want a hug. Oh my.
I have an inverted impression of
Oh,
Steve's awesome N7 jacket on
Yeah.
We're doing this
chest
old
now.
school, so we won't be doing video, but we're gonna try to set this up.
technical
Okay, so
difficulties,
just one
please
second.
stand by.
So
Put her on speaker, right? So you guys can hear her in the room.
Yeah. Oh man, we got a nice James butt.
Ah.
James back and butt. Alright, here we go. Super sophisticated.
alright.
Yay!
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, let's just make sure the internet is okay with the sound. We might need to adjust you.
Okay.
You can hear us though?
Okay, so
I didn't hear you guys the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's not the problem.
Okay.
okay, how does that sound to you guys? Susan, can you talk a little bit?
Now he shows.
I can talk about far more things than you really want, mostly involving otters.
Otters, is that the new thing?
It is. It's my new thing. We went from cats to corgis, and now I'm obsessed with otters.
Sweet.
Okay, and our chat says that you sound good, so we are yay.
Let's do this thing.
Yay!
So
Alright, thank you for putting up with us for our technical difficulties.
That's how Desert Bus goes, right? I mean, we plan something, and then it goes completely wrong at the last second.
And then we do a dance.
Yeah, and then there's a dance.
That's how it works.
all right. So for those poor misinformed people who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Susan?
Sure. I am the executive editor of The Escapist, which means basically everything on the site is my fault or my great idea, depending on how you feel about it.
Alright. All of those things.
Yes.
The chat is like, get to the otters.
All otters, all the time.
So is there going to be an otter jam coming up on The Escapist?
There may be some otter-based shenanigans in the works. I don't want to, it's a surprise.
What about otters with unicorns horns? That would be
Yeah,
good.
someone actually sent me, there's a picture of otters and kittens playing together, and it was just the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. I was like, that is why the internet exists.
It's
this
true.
picture.
To distribute pictures of cute animals.
Yes.
That's awesome. Alright, well we do have some questions here for you.
Okay.
Before
Oh,
we
wait.
wait, hold on. I just want to say one thing. In
Yep.
honor of Susan calling in, we're doing a $5.55 donation challenge for 2 awesome Escapist prize packs of 0 punctuation hoodies and imp plushies and beanies and T-shirts. And that is going on until we're gonna say 10:30. It's a $5.55 donation challenge. We'll get that up on the overlay. And now questions.
Alright. So,
I am admittedly biased, but those hoodies are swank.
yeah, those hoodies, they're super nice.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to talk to people, you can just pull the hoodie down and you just look like a creepy imp and they'll walk away.
I get hugs. When I do the imp hoodie up, I just get people walking up to me and hugging me.
Oh. That's kind of the opposite of the desired approach.
Exactly. I'm like, no, okay, I appreciate the hug. Thank you. Kind of not what I was going for.
All right, so we've got some questions here. Most of them silly, as you may expect.
Well, yeah.
Ooh, I like this. What is the worst AAA game you have ever played or reviewed?
Ooh.
AAA game, so not just any random game.
That's the thing. I mean, are we calling X-Men Destiny a AAA game? Can we do that?
X-Men Destiny?
Yeah.
That was made. I mean, it was made by like a AAA house.
Yeah, right? So that counts.
That is a bad game.
And oh my god, I wanted to stab myself in the eye every single second. The only redeeming feature is the game was so short that you wouldn't be in agony for long. Also, it does burn when you try and set it on fire, so it had that going for it as well.
So what you're saying is its gameplay value is poor, but its flammability makes up for it.
Yes, exactly.
And Graham and I actually
gave
did
it 1 star. I may have given it 1.5 just for the flammability.
Graham and I actually did a let's play of that one, and yeah, it is not good.
Ooh.
Right?
The best part of
I'm like, how do you do this? You take a game where I can mix and match superpowers. I can have diamond skin and shoot lasers, and I can fly, and I'm bored. How is that even possible?
X-Men has that problem. Like, the X-Men have basically never been turned into a good game. When you think that they would be a great subject for a game.
Well, except for the arcade game.
That's true. The arcade game was great.
Yeah, and X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Because putting anything with Street Fighter is a great idea.
Oh, yeah, well, yes. Yes. Baking with Street Fighter. Best idea ever.
Well, that's not really like an X-Men game. Anyhow, somebody in the chat raises a good question. Kane and Lynch 2?
I did not play King and Lynch 2,
Okay.
so I cannot form an opinion.
Do you, as editor, do you sometimes assign games that you know are going to be bad to people you don't like?
Well, no, because I like everybody I work with. But I will sometimes specifically take a game that I expect to be bad because I really, really enjoy writing reviews of bad games. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, this is actually good. What was your favorite moment from the Escapist Expo? And what can you tell us about next year's Expo?
Well, I can tell you that there is going to be an expo.
It exists.
So that's kind of a thing. It's
Excellent.
going to be in mid-October. And it's going to be in the same location as this past year's. And that's all I can tell you about that so far. My favorite moment... Wow, that's hard. There were a lot of really, really awesome ones. Saturday Night Shindig, obviously. Concert with Gavin Dunn, Miracle of Sound. Love that. I loved the Q&A with Escapist where everybody lined up. Hey, first of all, it was like, hey, would you guys pose as the Last Supper? And like there was no hesitation. Everybody just immediately like, yes. And then everybody danced Gangnam Style, which was kind of amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
And this is going to sound super, super corny, but that's kind of how I roll. Every morning before the show actually started, before we let anybody in, we all sat in the hallway and ate breakfast together. And it was just really cool because it was quiet and the show hadn't started yet. And it was just really neat to just sit around and talk games and stuff.
That's sweet. Yeah, the calm before the storm.
Exactly. Also, it was the first time all you guys or representatives of all our different tech lines were all in the same place at the same time. It was so cool to actually just get to hang out with everybody and see you guys talking to each other and interacting. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it's one of the things with the Escapist is, none of us are actually from Durham. None of the big content creators.
Yeah.
And so it's neat to actually, get together in one central place and see all the other guys.
I'm not from Durham either, so I just pretend.
Somebody's saying, I love the game show panel at PAX. Would you, if you could host any televised game show, past or present, which would it be and why?
Match game.
Match game?
Absolutely, without question, match game. Because here's what I love about match game, and here's why I originally wanted to do it at PAX. They were drunk out of their minds, and they all knew each other. So it's basically just getting 6 drunk friends up in front of cameras, having a game show around that. And it was hilarious. It was so inappropriate. They would never let anything like that air now. It was so fun. So I would absolutely do match game.
Nice.
I do have to say I love the match game panels that you've put on so far at PAX. They've been very funny. And thank you so much for inviting me to be part of them. Although I'm not sure who else would be willing to draw 2 sheep engaged in coitus as part of their entry.
That was particularly impressive. I think we all have to agree about that.
Thank you so much, Susan, for involving me.
Well, we are doing game show night again at PAX East. So I will be doing match game again.
That is awesome.
More sheep.
If you guys have not been to one of Susan's match game or game show night panels at PAX, clear your schedule. So worth it. So funny.
Yeah, this year we're doing match game. We are doing Family Feud and Hollywood Squares.
Oh, so good.
Nice. Now, you may have, if you've been watching the feed, you may have noticed that some people in the chat have been asking about this. We do have this thing for $6 secrets. So we've been collecting from everybody we talked to, what we're calling a $6 secret. So a secret or something that people may not know. It doesn't necessarily that you're willing to say over the chat, over the feed, but something that people may not know about you or or about the Escapist or about anything.
Okay.
That
I'm such a boring person. I don't have any. Okay. I have had plastic surgery.
Really?
Yes. When I was in 5th grade, I was running home. True story. My house was at the bottom of a hill, and I was running home because I was late getting home from school because my friend Michelle stopped me after we got off the bus to tell me a dirty joke. And so I was late, and I tripped, and I face planted on the sidewalk and put my bottom teeth through my upper lip, just tore to shreds. So I had plastic surgery to put it back together.
Yowza.
Ouch.
And apparently it went pretty well because you can't tell.
No, but holy crap.
That is a good secret. Thank you.
I'd say that's worth at least like $3.50 anyway. Maybe not $6.
Can you remember what the joke was?
I can't. I wish I could because it would be such a great detail for the story. I remember it was a dirty joke.
Oh, yeah, the chat's just going, oh my god.
Yeah, that's a $12 secret.
Yeah.
So I think you've already answered this one, but somebody asking, what's your favorite picture of a cute animal you've received? But
it's really, really, I never intended to get known on the internet as the game journalist who's obsessed with cute pictures. That just kind of happened, and I'm okay with it. So every single day I have people emailing me and tweeting me cute pictures, and there's just so many, and it's all there's foxes and red pandas and otters and corgis and kittens and baby birds and piglets, and they're all just so cool. I don't think I could pick one, although I am very much a fan of disapproving bunny pictures.
Disapproving bunnies.
Yeah, when the bunny has an expression on his face that looks like he's disapproving, like he's judging you.
I like that.
It's actually an entire Tumblr of disapproving rabbit pictures.
I'll have to check that out after Desert Bus. I had no idea there was disapproving rabbit. How do you feel about, this is my own, I'm freelancing questions in here. How do you feel about tartar sauce, the world's grumpiest pussycat?
I just love him so much.
It's that was like I saw that pic, like the first picture of like Grumpy Cat is grumpy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's funny. But then but as time has gone on and there's been more pictures, you realize that that's not just like a weird picture that they got of that particular cat. That's how he looks all the time.
Yeah.
I just love it. It never stops being funny.
No. That cat will make me laugh until the day I die. It actually gets funnier, I think, the more you look at it. I think you can now get Christmas cards.
Oh, God.
If I send out Christmas cards this year, I'm going to send out...
If it would be wildly inappropriate, I would have him on my business card. Okay.
You could have like a super secret extra business card for people who are in the know.
Yes, I like this idea.
Somebody wants to know what your favorite sandwich is. That's a
My
tricky
favorite
question.
sandwich is turkey, olive oil, salt, pepper, oregano, American cheese, and bacon on a long roll.
That sounds pretty tasty.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
You have any thoughts on the Wii U that you can say?
I have many thoughts on the Wii U. If you're asking just do I think it's a neat piece of tech, yes, it is a neat piece of tech. It's very cool. Zombie U is more fun than I thought it was going to be. I'm genuinely concerned about developers' ability to use that gamepad for anything other than gimmickry and stuff that you could do better with the actual controller. But here's the thing. When the DS came out, its launch lineup was awful. It was just terrible. And you're like, oh, wow, these are all really great tech demos, whatever. And I feel like it's the exact same situation.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a while before people figure it out.
Yeah.
And like for the Wii, they never really figured it out.
Well, they should have just... The Wii sold to people who don't care about games. And that's not a bad thing. That's a choice, right? Like, that's a decision. That's a very sound business decision. And Nintendo should have just had a spine and said, hey, guess what? This is what we're doing because it works. And y'all can just deal.
Okay, let's see here. Somebody's saying, Dear Susan, love the Escapist podcast and your game reviews. Question is, what do you think about educational games for kids or for higher learning? Is there any way for games for educational for younger kids or is there any way for games to be educational for younger children and still be good games that their parents can enjoy with them?
Well, sure. The thing is, I mean, what happens so often is we forget that aspects of education are worked into all elements of gaming. You can have reading comprehension, you can have spatial recognition. There's all sorts of educational spelling you could have. The problem is that they don't get a lot of funding to make the game. So, now it's also, if you just put Dora on a game, it will sell because lots of kids love Dora. So if you want to devote a whole lot of time and resources to making a quote-unquote good Dora game, when it doesn't ultimately affect your sales at all.
So you think there may not be that much encouragement for developers to do that?
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of financial incentive to make an educational game that parents will enjoy. Because as long as it's doing what the kids need, the parent is irrelevant.
Interesting.
But then when you find that game that does, hit that sweet spot of both, then that's so wonderful. It's such a breath of fresh air.
Well, then, if you think about a game like Civilization, I mean, you learn so much by playing Civilization, and it's an awesome game on top of it. I mean, obviously, it would have to be for an older kid.
Definitely. Okay, this is a cool question. If you had unlimited budget, what would you do to change, renovate The Escapist in order to become supreme overlords of all things games journalism?
Oh, wow. If I had unlimited budget, I would just hire a nice, big staff. Because this is the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about The Escapist. We're super tiny. We're really, really small. We only have, I think it's 17 people in the office. And that's for everything. That's for content, that's for art, that's for tech, that's for sales, that's everything. So what I could do with just more bodies doing things would be awesome. Also, puppy cam.
Puppy cam. But what would you do with the puppies once they were done on puppy cam? You couldn't have dog cam.
It would just be my puppies.
That is not
Like the
sustainable.
queen has her corgis. They would just be my puppies.
That is not a sustainable puppy ratio. I think in a year you would have too many puppies. Although, how long would you keep them on puppy cam?
That's why they make the Escapist staff larger. They keep hiring new people and then give them a puppy.
Oh yeah, you get a slightly used dog.
Here's your desk. Here's your dog.
Yeah, that's your 6-month bonus. Is you get a slightly used dog.
Somebody wants Space Muffin. What is that? Is that something from the podcast?
Space Muffin!
Space Muffin.
Space muffins! Breakfast at the speed of space! Which we know that doesn't make any sense, but we're stuck with it now.
Is space fast or slow?
Depends on the muffin involved.
I guess somebody's asking if there's one misconception about you or the Escapist or one of the Escapist staff members that you wish to correct. What would it be? I guess how big you are would be one thing.
We're not all corrupt, greedy bastards? That's probably the one I'd like to correct the most.
That seems to be a popular opinion coming into your inbox.
Oh, every time we do a review, yeah. Oh, well, clearly, what? It's gotten kind of comic at this point because we've either been bought by the people who published the game, if we give it a good review, or if it's a bad review, then we were clearly paid off by the competitors.
And in a lot of cases,
and the thing is,
either way,
good Lord, I would really love it if I was getting paid off, because then I wouldn't have credit card debt out the bus. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have car payments.
What's great is when both happen simultaneously. You're both being paid off and biased against the game.
We have the running gag that we have is that we have a space yacht called the USS EA Payoff.
Nice. You should broadcast your podcast from there. Deep inside the space yacht. You can come dock at our moon base.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
all
my
right.
goodness.
A lot of people asking about otters now.
Let me pick
And how
one
they are
otter
the best
question.
thing ever in the history of ever? Yes.
Okay, river otters or sea otters?
I'm just going to defer to the otter with the little cups.
That's the
Y'all know
sea
that
otter.
video?
It's the way otters, like baby otters, naturally curl up into a ball when you sort of pick them up.
Takes a year off my life every time I look at an otter video. It's just so cute.
Can you give us a supplementary otter fact? This isn't for the challenge. Just obviously, I think you know more about otters than I do.
Okay, supplementary otter fact is Mama Otter will have to teach baby otter how to swim, so she will basically take baby otter and dunk him right under the water. Be like, okay, bro, boom.
they're not really gentle about it, eh?
Well, I mean, it's done with love, but it's a very much a you need to learn this skill, and frankly, I have a full day, so get in the water.
Literally sink or swim.
Yes, exactly. But she's right there with him, helping him figure it out.
Dear Dr. Arendt, 100 bee-sized otters or 1 otter-sized bee?
It seems like a pretty easy question.
Bee-sized otters.
Yeah. Teeny, even cuter otters because they're tinier? That seems better.
Yeah, because then I can have them in my pocket.
Pocket otters!
Whereas an extremely large bee is not really on the cute
Yeah, who
spectrum.
can enjoy an extremely large bee?
What if it was a
What's the
bumblebee?
audience for the really big bee?
What if it was a bumblebee, though? They're very fuzzy.
Yeah, I feel
They're
like
cute.
most insects, when you blow them up big, though, are pretty crazy looking.
Yeah, because then you would be able to see the really huge eyes, and that's not cute.
No.
I mean, they're fuzzy, but then they got those bee eyes going on. Now,
And everybody wants to thank you for allowing Pika, who is gone now, but one of the people here was the one who made Katsy. She was the one who put the cat ears on Yahtzee at the Escapist Expo.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose it?
Oh, she's gone back.
Oh, hello?
Oh no! We've lost Susan.
Oh no. We just got a low battery warning, so maybe we're off.
Oh no.
My phone.
I took
Huh?
my phone.
5.
Boom, done.
Me and Scott cables.
I'm gonna be later.
All right.
Are you leaving, Steve?
No, I might be back tonight. We'll
Oh,
see.
okay. Oh, excellent. Yay!
I'm trying to work my schedule around so that I can come back.
Yay!
I might even just do an all-nighter to my flight.
Ooh. Ooh. That will make you loopy and fun.
Yeah, possibly.
Excellent.
Okay,
Right.
guys.
All right.
Ciao.
See you
Good
later,
to see you again, man. Been a while.
See you, Steve.
Hey, see
All right.
you. Hopefully later.
I am also leaving.
Okay, bye, Tina. Thank you so
Bye,
much for
Tina.
your wonderful Jane hat you donated.
Yes, thank you for the hat.
I have to think up something brilliant next year.
Yes, something equally brilliant.
All right, so while we try to get apparent Susan's internet dropped. All right, while we try to get Susan back on the phone, let us draw the winners for those 0 punctuation challenges. That started. It went till 10:30, and it started at Andre set a timer and then left.
What? Sorry, what was the?
The 0 punctuation prize packs, lots 271 and 272.
Thank you.
I believe it was 10:02.
10:02, I believe it was, till 10:30 is when it went to.
No, it was 15 minutes. It was 10:14.
10:14.
We're about to bring Susan back in.
Oh, and we're about to bring Susan back in.
We're actually doing it over the Skype though?
Yep.
Yay!
Oh, nice. Hey,
We've got Skype working.
video Skype. Video Susan.
I can keep my eyes anywhere.
Hello, Susan.
Sorry,
Yay!
Hello again. Hi. We actually have you over.
internets went away.
Oh no. Scary internets.
Scary internets.
Yeah, we've been dealing with a few issues about that. We
I have
Oh. Hey, Liz.
Yes.
The internet is saying it was 10:02 that I announced it.
yeah,
It
it was half an hour.
Yeah, it was supposed to be half an hour.
Okay. Well.
We put it up on the overlay at 10:14 because we can get up on the overlay right away because we're having technical difficulties with
we
Liz.
were confused.
or
So our
Susan.
countdown was.
All right, so we're while you're on the line here, Susan, we're doing the draw for these 2 awesome 0 punctuation packs.
oh,
One for the ladies and one for the dudes.
for the ladies. Excellent.
Let's see. Oh, this is for 555. Doo-doo-doo. Hey, both people have accounts. That is awesome. We've got one for Limilim and one for Orphantal.
So if Liminin and Orphantel could weigh in, if either one of them are a girl, that would be awesome. And then we'll send you the girl pack. If you're both girls, you can fight over it. It's hard. It's hard to tell.
Hopefully, you have somebody in your life who would be happy to get the pack. All right, so we will. Do I have to write that down somewhere?
I'll pull that information. I just
Okay.
want to know which one wants which one.
Well, Limilim is the first one to win. He says, "I'm a guy,"
Okay.
but
Then
Orphan Tom. He also a guy. Well, we will assign them randomly then.
Who's got a D6?
All right. I don't know, but the question before we were cut off was one of the people who was here. She's gone now. Was our friend Pika, who was the one who put the cat ears on Yahtzee at the Escapist Expo.
Yes, I recognized her.
Katzi, as I believe it is being called.
Patsy, yes. Oh, he was so happy about that.
I bet he
Yeah,
was.
everyone in the chat and also on the blog would just like to thank you for allowing that to happen.
Well, it was too good not to. I mean, how do you pass that up? The one picture we have of it is just gold.
We get to see what how the ears react when the person wearing them is extremely unhappy.
Yes. Shooting lasers out his eyes.
Yes. Oh, Linolim brings up a great point. Yes, please email prize@desertbus.org for our 2 winners and say, I won these 0 punctuation giveaway packs. And we will assign them and email your mailing address and all of that good information that Prize might need so they can get your stuff out here. Oh, and hey, Susan,
Yeah.
Mike's in the chat. Mike Thompson.
Mikey!
Hi, Mike.
He knows. If you want $6 secrets, he and I have known each other way too long.
I think, do we already have a secret from Mikey?
No, Mike Thompson, Mike.
Oh, Mike Thompson.
Mike.
Sorry, oops, different Mike.
Yes.
Not Mikey Face. Fans out.
Yes.
There apparently somebody's asking about whether the humans versus zombies at the Escapist offices. Is that something? There's rumors that you play that a lot at the Escapist offices.
No, we don't. We just kind of randomly beat up on each other. Nothing quite so formalized as humans versus zombies.
I remember that video of the advertising team against the editorial team.
Yup,
That was
that happens.
That was pretty heavy duty.
Yeah. We also just kind of randomly throw stuff at each other, which our new layout is really very conducive to that. Because in our old office, there were walls, and we kind of had more cubicles, and we were in 2 separate offices, and now it's a big open floor layout. So it's a lot easier to just wing something across the room.
Nice.
Professionalism.
So, hey, Susan, since my coworkers are in the chat, I've got Mike Thompson, who works with me at Inside Network, and Manny Myberg, whose last name I borrowed for a Loading Ready Run sketch. Both in the chat. Do you have any exotic Mike Thompson secrets that you'd be willing to share?
Oh, good God. Yes? But I'm not sure he would ever speak to me again. But the one thing you need to know about Mike is that he and I are evil twins.
Ah.
Yes. We have been scheming and planning on taking over the world for about 10 years now.
Ah.
So, yes.
How's the plan doing?
It's slow. You gotta have all your infrastructure in place.
Like
first.
what phase would you say you're in right now?
Recruitment.
Ah.
And real estate scouting, because you don't want to make a bad choice with your evil lair. Because here's the thing: A, the resale value, not good.
No.
And
What?
B, nobody wants to pack up and move that stuff. You know, like
That's
the
true.
advanced laser and all your minions gear, and that you really don't want to pack and ship that with U-Haul. So you have to make sure that your first choice is your last choice when it comes to an evil lair.
Because then you have to kill all the people who helped you ship it, which is a pain too.
Exactly. And there's just paperwork, and there's disposing of the bodies, which is just labor intensive.
The chat would like it known that otters sometimes hold hands when they sleep in order to not float away from each other.
Totally true. Yes. Okay, wait. Are you familiar with with the otter stacking cups video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Because if you weren't, we needed to stop everything and just go find that. But you're aware, so it's all good.
If they can stack cups, who knows what other cute things they could be trained to do.
They could stack nuclear warheads as long as they're very
But
tiny
choose
and
not
buoyant.
to.
All right. Well, I think that's mostly out of questions here. So I think we can let you go now, Susan. Thank you very much for calling in.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. As always, I look forward to this every year. So much fun. You guys are doing such awesome stuff, and we want to support any way we can.
Thanks
And
a
which
lot, guys.
my way is apparently talking about otters. So there you go.
And thank you so much for all the, I just want to say while I've got you and probably the rest of the Escapist people, thank you guys so much. The advertising, the microsite, the pub club donation challenge, the zero punctuation packs we're giving away now, the So You Want to Be a Game Journalist pack of goodies that we're giving away on Thursday, and all of the really cool stuff that we put into the silent auction lots. You guys are so wonderful and generous and helpful and supportive, and reaching out to your contacts and getting us prizes is just so amazing and great, and thank you so much for all the help you give us.
Happy to do it. Although, we didn't know the clock talked.
Oh, really?
We had no idea. I was like, oh, hey, neat Dishonored clock. Someone will really enjoy this. Let's pass it along. Had no idea it talked. That's so cool.
Well, we didn't know it talked either, because Graham and I were like taking pictures and setting up. I'm sorry all the pictures are so bad. I'm the world's worst photographer. And so Graham and we're like looking up information on the internet about this, and Graham's like, this clock talks. I'm like, no it doesn't. I was looking at this clock. And then he's like, oh wait, this is what this button on the back is for. And it goes for like 30 seconds. This is a long sound clip. It was a chatty clock.
What does it actually say?
It says, I wish I could go get it, but it's like sequestered in our prize mines with all the silent auction prizes. It goes through this whole spiel about, oh god, it's like guards get ready and stuff like that. I haven't played Dishonored yet because I haven't had any time. But it's like, be prepared to put down an enemy of the Empire or something like that. It's quite lengthy.
Wow. All right, cool.
All right. Well, we will talk to you later, I guess. Soon, probably.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, Susan.
Next time I see you guys, we'll be at PAX and then at Expo.
Yay.
All right.
Hey.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. So how much did that donation drive raise, Paul? Because I saw our numbers tick up quite substantially.
Let me see here. There to there. It raised just $449.
Nice.
There we go. Nice.
That's a good deal.
So thank you everybody for entering that whatever drive thing.
For throwing in your $5.55 for some excellent value. Alrighty. So now that we're done that, we've done our call. We should do some challenges, Paul.
Alrighty. What do we got in the way of challenges?
Yeah. Since I know my coworkers are watching, here's a chance for them to get some good, embarrassing footage of me.
All right. When what are you want to dance?
Sure. Why not? Is the thing I'm known to do.
Tugboat.
Yeah, tugboat song.
Is that a song?
I don't know the tugboat song.
I don't think it is.
Do you have a plan for your caramel dancing thing?
I'm gonna do it once Chris Straub gets here, so we can drive while I'm doing it.
Okay.
Oh, my Mike says this is a badass scarf. This is actually my special. Every Desert Bus driver this year has a special giveaway item to give away for donations or as a contest. This is a beautiful handmade Nyan scarf made by Morineko, who's in the chat a little while ago. I hope she's still here. And handmade, 2 weeks of work will be given away later with a detachable Nyan cat. It's so cute. It's the best. So
You have a plan for how you're going to give that away?
I am gonna give it away at the end of my shift.
All right. Somebody wants interpret going to the store video through the medium of interpretive dance.
I've danced to going to the store.
Yeah, we've done that one a lot. Actually.
A lot. I will just do that one for free.
All right.
But the thing is, like, the only interpretive dance you can do is the dance that the guy is doing, right?
Just like. He like does a weird thing with his. He like turns his arms inside out.
Yeah, and then the real money maker is just like humping the couch.
Yeah, there's then just like the like. It's just like this.
Yeah. And then bobbing your legs up and down. What is interpretive dance? Flailing your arms about. That's how I do it mostly. Alright, is there anything else for me?
Alright, let's try.
Alright, and for all of the Gangnam Style requests, we're gonna do that, if we reach 1 million lifetime.
Ooh, let's make sure Chris is here if we do that.
I think Chris will be here, because we got some cash to go still. I do not have all of the auction lots memorized. I am not very clever at all. This is tally system. We have labels with the numbers on them. And they're sitting on the bags and stuff for the auctions. Oh no, General Michi says he missed my Interpretive Boards of Canada dance. I would love to do another one. We could get the kaleidoscope filter on the screen. I could do another one of those maybe later.
Alright, that sounds good.
Because it was so cool. Also the
Yeah, we've got some good stuff out of the kaleidoscope filter.
Yeah. And the second Boards of Canada album, or I guess the third Geo Gotti, depending on what release schedule you're following. The third Boards of Canada album, Geo Gotti, had like a kaleidoscope art theme basically.
You want to do that?
Maybe later. It's not very exciting. Like it's like more like down tempo music. I think we could do something more exciting. Hey, General Michi, are you leaving anytime soon?
Wow, it's only 10:51. Jesus.
What?
It's 10:51 already.
What else we got here?
Are you excited for the new Daft Punk album? I was not aware a new Daft Punk album had been announced.
Yeah, what?
Nor was I, and now that I am aware, I'm still not all that excited. To be honest, I don't know. Are you, Kathleen?
Well,
does that excite you?
I'm not a huge Daft Punk
Punk
fan.
fan?
I find their music a little like simple for my taste, but I mean it's fun.
Yeah.
I like running to it.
I think they've got one more chance to redeem themselves after the last one that I don't even remember the name
Tron
of.
soundtrack?
Sorry?
What do you feel, your thoughts about the Tron soundtrack? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I was actually talking about the one previous to that, the one after Discovery.
Oh. Not that.
Anybody feel like
the
they
one
can...
with the kind of, like, I'm gonna...
It's exactly what you say. It was too simplistic.
Oh, right. We need to talk to you about the feed. By the way, that's an adorable gift!
Does anybody feel like they could do an air guitar battle?
Everything over here is a
Well,
secret.
only using their voices as the
Well,
sounds of the guitar.
I could be looking at it.
I can't do that right now.
Like that?
In a little
I guess so,
bit,
yeah.
Maybe a little later, but I'm
So,
too tired for that one.
Alright, we will put that one on hold.
I guess something about buffering that basically the people who are archiving have to load the entire feed.
Oh man,
It's like 40 hours now.
can anybody solve a Rubik's Cube?
Dale.
Dale is awesome at that.
Dale
Ready
did
for
it.
that, and that's okay. The chat's
I
ready
used
for
to be
that.
able to. It's
The
been a
chat's
long
okay.
time.
Do you do it
Yeah.
blindfolded?
They don't have a
If the
choice.
chat's
How?
okay, I'll make the
I
executive
will
decision.
try.
Yeah, but we just need to.
Alright.
But like, don't
You
you
should-
need
you
to
should
look
done
at the
last
colors?
But
Well,
scientific-
Johnny,
It is
There are-
people that can do it, but you memorize all the colors and then do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. We have to restart the feed.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So we have to restart the video feed. Calm down, chat.
They're fine.
We will be back on shortly.
I'm lying. Panic.
Bad, James.
Don't
bad.
listen to James.
Yeah, don't listen to me.
Do the panic.
Just because they're way too far behind.
No.
Because of the folks that are archiving, when they cut up video feeds, they load the entire 30 hours of feed.
Because Twitch has stopped segmenting it
Yeah.
apparently for them.
Oh, weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's right now. It's like just like more than 38-hour long chunk of video. Weird.
Thought that happened with the
Okay.
entire thing at once.
Okay, are you guys ready?
So let's all give him a big dramatic countdown.
All right. How?
From 5,
Five.
4, 3, 2, 1.